There are a number of different people involved to help you buy or sell a home, and they can be kind of overwhelming if you don't know exactly who they are and why they're even involved in the first place. So today I'm going to be sharing with you each of the different people that are involved in the transaction, as well as their role in helping you buy and or sell a home. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey y'all, if you're brand new to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in San Antonio, Texas, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that bell icon so that you'll be the first to learn about the current market right here in San Antonio, Texas. My name is Brock, and I'm getting phone calls, texts, and emails all of the time from folks just like you who are looking to make their move to San Antonio, and I just love when that happens. So whether you're moving in the next 7 days or maybe in the next 7 months, please do not hesitate to give me a phone call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'd be more than happy to help you and your family make a smooth move to San Antonio, Texas. Now, as I already mentioned, there are several different people that kind of have their hand in the pot, for a lack of better words, when it comes to a real estate transaction, and it's very important that you know each of these people's roles and why they may or may not be there to help you along the process. If you happen to get blindsided by one of these individuals reaching out to you, you could be very stressed and overwhelmed and even very confused as to why they're reaching out to you in the first place. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of these different roles to hopefully alleviate some stress and give you some good expectations and understanding ahead of the time so that you know what to expect, when to expect them, and how they are here to help you. All right, now this first person that's involved in a real estate transaction is someone that you may be very familiar with already, and it is a real estate agent. Now, us as realtors and real estate agents, we are here to help and guide you through the entire process. And whether you're looking to buy a house or sell a house, there's a couple of different paths there depending on that side of the transaction you are and how we guide you through that whole process. But us as a real estate professional, real estate agent, we are here to help you and have your best interests in mind throughout the entire process. Now, if you're looking to buy a house, our role is slightly different than if you are looking to sell a house. On the buying side, we are here to help make sure that you find the house that you and your family need by listening to all of your concerns, your needs, your wants, and listening to all of that and really taking into account whenever we start sharing some homes with you, and more importantly, listening to you once we go looking at homes, because your list of needs and wants and desires for a house may not be exactly what we can get you, but we can most definitely find you something pretty close that maybe ticks off 90% or 80% of all of the boxes on your list for your house. Sometimes it can be quite impossible to find a house with every single thing that you desire, especially depending on the price point and the areas that you are looking in. But us here on the buying side of things, we're here to help you not only find the house, but we are much more involved than that. Once we do find the perfect house for you and your family, we are here to help you negotiate all of the terms and conditions that are involved in a sales contract. Now, there are a number of them. The most notable and the most common one, of course, is the sales price, but we can also help negotiate things such as repairs, seller concessions to help you make repairs, pay down your closing costs, buy down interest rates, help you pay off your debt. Yes, you can even use seller concessions and negotiate that to pay off some credit cards or car loans, anything like that you may have on the debt side of things there. But we are here to help negotiate all of that and facilitate all of those negotiations. Once that has happened, us as real estate agents, we're here to help make sure that you get an inspection done, and I'll touch on what an inspector does here shortly. We are here to help you with any appraisal issues, and again, we'll touch on what an appraiser is and what they do in just a moment as well. But we really facilitate all of that and help handle communications, paperwork, and anything else that may come up during a buying side transaction, and make sure it is as smooth and as simple as possible. Now, on top of all of that, sometimes we act as therapists and counselors because there's a lot of stress and things involved, but I digress from there. And when we look to the selling side of things, of course, we are there to help present the comparable sales and help guide you towards an appropriate price and value of your home. We do this through a CMA known as a comparative market analysis, and here we bring homes that are very similar as far as location and size and condition and features, and we bring this to you and really show this and go in detail as far as what we think, an acceptable value or range of value is on your home. Now, once we do that, we help you stage the home, make sure it looks presentable. We get photos. We help put it on the multiple listing service. We help market it and advertise your house. We help facilitate showings. If buyers come in to look at the house, we help share all of the pertinent information about the house, whether it's any ongoing issues with the house, any repairs that you've done. We share all that information with the buyer so that they are best informed and have your best interest in mind, of course, when all of this is happening. And then, of course, we do help facilitate all and any negotiations that come through through whenever we do receive any offers on your house. Now, of course, too, once we are under contract, we help facilitate all the requests for appraisers and inspectors, and even facilitate, again, all of the paperwork and stuff that is necessary for a title company to complete the transaction. All right, this brings us to our second person involved in a transaction, which is a seller. And this is one side of the transaction that is absolutely necessary for a piece of property, whether it's a home, vacant land, or commercial property, or anywhere in between that needs to get sold, right? So a seller is a person who owns the property that is looking to be sold. Now, they are the ones who may have owned it for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, maybe they've owned it for several decades, or maybe it's even been in the family for many, many, many years. So regardless of how long they've owned the home, they are the ones who currently own the property, and they have put it up for sale. Of course, they will work with their real estate agent on the selling side to make sure everything is appropriate. Some of the stuff that we already mentioned as far as making sure the price is appropriate for the area as well as the property itself, and help with negotiations on the selling side. So the seller is a person, of course, who is looking, again, to sell that piece of property to a new owner. Now, on the flip side, on the opposite end of the transaction, we always have a buyer, right? It takes a buyer and a seller in order for a piece of property to be sold. So the buyer is someone who is looking to acquire a piece of property, whether it's land, a house, anything, any kind of real piece of property, a condominium, anything like that. So the buyer is someone who's looking to purchase a piece of property from a current owner who is looking to sell their property. And of course, us as real estate agents, we help the buyers through all of the things that I've already mentioned, right? We help them find the property, we help them analyze it to make sure it's a good investment and the price is accurate for what that property should be. And we help negotiate, we help facilitate all the showings and appraisals, inspections, and all of that fun stuff that I've already mentioned. Now, the fourth person I want to bring into the picture and talk about is a mortgage lender. So if you are a buyer who is looking to acquire property, you are more than likely going to work with a mortgage lender in order to get a loan and purchase that piece of property. Now, if you are looking to pay cash for a property, you won't have to worry about a mortgage lender entering the picture at all. This is only if you do not have enough cash available for the complete purchase of a property. For example, if a piece of property is for sale for $200,000 and you do not have $200,000 available at your disposal to spend for the purchase of the property, you will need a lender to help you secure a loan for the property. So the lender here will help with a number of things, and they kind of come in early in the process, right? Typically, before we go looking at any homes, we want to start talking with a lender so that we can have a solid understanding of what price points you're able to purchase in. And then from there, we can see what price points you're comfortable with purchasing. There is a difference between what you're able to and what you're comfortable with, right? So a lender here will look at a number of different things. They will request a full mortgage application from you. It's going to have all of your pertinent information to include your name, social security number, your current address, your income, all of your debts. And the lender will look at all of that and make a determination on the amount that they're able to lend to you based on your credit worthiness and your income levels there, right? So they'll look at every factor. They're going to look at all of your incomes from all sources. So if you have one job, if you have two jobs, if you've got any social security income, retirement income, disability income, any sort of income that you're receiving on a regular basis, they will take all of that into consideration and total it up. And what they'll also do is look at all of the debts that you are obligated to pay. So if you have student loans, if you have car loans, if you have a current mortgage that you're going to keep, if you have any outstanding credit card debt or any other, child support, alimony, anything where you are required to make a monthly payment, they will add up all of your debts. And what they will do from here is they'll take all of your income and divide it by your total debts, and they'll come up with what is called a debt to income ratio. And they will use that to help qualify you for the various loan types out there. There are a number of different loan products, and each one has a different debt to income ratio limit. And so this will be a crucial factor in determining what loan types you are actually eligible for. On top of that, of course, they will verify your income. So they will be contacting your employers to make sure that your income is accurate and valid. And the lenders will also be looking at your pay stubs as well as your tax returns, again, to just verify your income and ensure that is consistent. And of course, the lender will provide you a pre-approval letter, which will be your maximum budget that you're allowed to based on all of your income and debts and everything that you've already shared with the lender. From here, let's say you're approved for up to $500,000 on a loan. Well, this doesn't mean you have to go spend all $500,000. If you only wanted to spend $300,000 and you found exactly the house that you and your family finally deserve and want, then by all means, you'd only have to spend $300,000, but you know that you have the ability to go all the way up to that maximum pre-approval limit if you desire to do that. Once we are under contract, of course, the lender will get a copy of that contract, and they will do a lot of background work and be requesting numerous different things from you in order to go ahead and finalize and set up that loan so that you can secure that property upon closing date of the contract. So the lender is a very crucial piece in this puzzle, because if you are securing the property with a loan, you will definitely need to make sure to be on top of all the things that they're requesting and ensure proper communication with them. In most cases, your real estate agent will also be talking with the lender and making sure that they get everything they need and making sure that everything is going as smooth as possible. Now, this brings us to the next person I want to bring up and introduce, which is a real estate appraiser. Now, this person is someone who is actually hired by the lender themselves. So what an appraiser does is they actually go out to the property you are looking to secure with the home loan, and they bring up an opinion of value and provide their report to the lender. So what an appraiser does is they'll actually go out to the property, they'll physically look at and inspect the property, they'll take some pictures, write down some notes, and then while they're out there, they actually go and look at some of the comparable sales in the area of very similar homes. Now, if you remember back to the beginning of the video, I did mention that when a real estate agent is working with the seller, they help provide comparable sales to bring up an opinion of value. Of course, this is not an official opinion of value that an appraiser will give. It's just a suggestion to help guide a seller towards a sales price. We also do this for buyers to make sure that you're not overpaying, in our opinion, for a house, and make sure you're in line with what homes in the area are selling for. But an appraiser gives an official opinion of value, and what they do again is they look at all those comparable sales, they write a nice report and come up with a determined value amount and provide this report to the lender. So the lender will look at this report, and that number that the appraiser gave on the opinion of value, it needs to be at least the same amount as the contract price, or it can be higher so that the home meets the appraisal value. So it's very important that when you are making offers on homes as a buyer, or whenever you're listing your property for sale as the seller, that the values and the contract and the sales price are as accurate as possible whenever you're using a home loan, because if you're too far off, there can be some issues there. If there is an issue with an appraiser, your real estate agent will definitely help guide you through that process on how to appeal it, or try to give some more options to the appraiser to kind of help them get to a better understanding of why you guys think the value of the house should be different than the appraisal amount. But ideally, of course, the appraisal will come in at the same amount as the contract price or come in higher. And if it comes in higher, then you have some instant equity into that house. And that is always a good thing, to have some great equity in a house. Now, another person you will definitely be interacting with during a real estate transaction is a home insurance representative. Now, this is something that a lender requires, because if you're taking out a loan, you have to have property insurance on the property that you are securing with the loan. So it is up to you on any home insurance company that you would like to use out there to go out and get an estimate and provide that information to the lender upon closing. Now, if you would like, I believe lenders will provide some recommendations to you. Now, again, of course, you can use any home insurance company out there. However, a lender may suggest a few if you would like. And once you get this estimate from the home insurance company, just provide that to your lender so that they can include that, because they will need that before closing can happen. Now, another person you might be working with is a home warranty representative. Now, this is different from a home insurance representative, because a home warranty is an optional thing, and it can help cover some of the different costs for appliances if they break. It also helps cover electrical and plumbing issues in some cases. It all depends on the home warranty services that you choose to purchase, and you can purchase it on your own if you would like, or you can actually ask for the seller to pay for it if you would like as well, if you're purchasing a property. Now, the home warranty will cover different systems and components and items within the household for a specified period of time, depending on what you choose. But this home warranty rep is someone that you may be interacting with and is not in every single transaction. Now, let's talk about home inspectors. Now, of course, home inspectors are optional to work with, but they are always highly encouraged, no matter if you're purchasing a brand new home or if you're purchasing a home that's 100 plus years old. It is always a recommendation to get a home inspection done on any home that you're purchasing, so that you know exactly the condition of the home and the systems and components in that home before you even buy it. But a home inspector is an independent third-party person who will come to the house that you're looking to purchase, and they will walk through and look at every single thing that they can on the property. Now, I will caveat this with that a home inspector knows a lot about different aspects of a home, but they don't have a depth of knowledge, and they're not an expert in electrical, plumbing, plumbing, HVAC, or any of the major systems and components. What they do know is current codes and how things should be operating, and what they do is they look for any potential deficiencies in the home. So what they will do, they'll go on the roof and they'll visually inspect the roof and notate any deficiencies. They'll test electrical components by sticking a tester in the outlets. They'll be turning on lights. They will test all of the appliances, major appliances in the home. They'll test all of the plumbing services to make sure that the hot water is hot, the cold water is cold, that it actually operates in the different areas that plumbing items should be working. And they'll look at visually the entire home and write everything in a report. You can use this report as a buyer to help negotiate any repairs or seller concessions that you can make repairs once you become the owner of it. But it is very good to know the condition of a home before buying it. So it's always very highly recommended to hire a third-party inspector to come through and take a look at the home so you can get that report and at least have a solid understanding of the condition of the home before you do buy it. So the last group of people I want to talk about and help you understand what they do is a title company or an attorney. Now, here in the great state of Texas, we are a title state, meaning we do work with title companies to complete the purchase of a home. And in other states, they may be an attorney state, meaning they work with an attorney to do the same thing. Regardless, a title company is here to help you complete the transaction process of a home. So they are a neutral third party that handles all of the paperwork. They handle all of the escrow money and disbursement of funds upon completion and funding of the transaction. And they just work on behalf of the lender and the buyer. So what they do here is they take all of the documents for the transaction, whether it's the HOA documents, the actual contract itself, any amendments to the contract. They receive all of the money, so an earnest money deposit, option fees, any money that needs to be transferred between parties. They bring all of that into an escrow account, and then upon approval, they will disperse all of the funds to the appropriate parties. So if the seller is getting any money back at closing for the sale of their house, the title company will send those funds forward to the seller. They'll also send money over to the lender as needed. So they handle all of the financial and paperwork side of everything. But outside of handling all of the paperwork and the money exchanging hands, they do a lot more than just that, right? The purpose of a title company outside of that is to help make sure the transfer of ownership is complete and that there are no issues with that. So let's say you're looking to purchase a property and the seller doesn't realize that there's someone who can claim ownership to it, whether it's an heir to the property, or maybe it is someone who has a lien against the property. The title company will find all of this in most cases and make sure that there are no issues and resolve any of those issues that come up, so that when you purchase the property and become the owner of the property, no one else can take that ownership away from you in any case, right? So what they do is they research all of the history through as far back as possible on the ownership of that property and make sure that everything is squared away and that there are no issues on that front. Now, what they will do is also issue a title policy insurance, which helps protect you as the homeowner and the title company as well, to make sure that if for some reason they missed anything, that there is that insurance policy to help cover those issues and make sure that they are repaired as needed. And once the title company has done all of that work and the lender has given the okay for clear to closing, what will happen is all parties will go to the title company. Everyone will sign all of the documents, so they will have a notary public there to ensure that you are signing all the documents accurately and correctly. They'll go over those documents as you're signing them, make sure that all money has been received so they can distribute those to the appropriate parties as needed. And then once everything is signed and complete, they will actually record it with the county or state that you live in so that it can be properly processed with the right authorities to complete the entire transaction process. So a title company is, of course, very important, and they play a crucial role inside the entire real estate process, as they're kind of the ultimate people that bring all parties together. And they bring in all the lending documents, the buyer documents, the seller documents, all of the money to be exchanged. They make sure everything is signed, that the ownership is squared away. They issue the title policy. They make sure everything is covered and handled appropriately so that everything can go as smoothly as possible. So they are a very integral part in the entire process. And whether you're paying cash or using a loan, you will most likely work with a title company to complete the transaction process. All right, y'all. So I know that was a ton of information that I threw at you, but if you found it useful, please go ahead and like the video, and I would be more than happy to hear your experience, whether you were buying or selling a house. Did you know about some of these people that were involved in the transaction process, or were you completely blindsided by the number of people that are involved in making everything happen? Well, just drop your comments below. I'd love to hear that experience. And while you're there, please go ahead and hit that that subscribe button. That'll make sure you are the first to learn about the current market right here in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you for watching this video today. I hope you found it useful, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Hope you have an incredible day.